And looks like we're going. Okay, hi everybody. Talking to you guys from here from the desktop. This is going to make it a lot easier for me to do, and also because I can show you a whole bunch of things. Technology, wonderful things. A couple things. This is going to be long because I'm going to be running through as many of the questions as I can. So sit back and enjoy. They are going to be run in order. The reason I had the setup like this is because I actually did some prep and I have some pictures over here. I will figure out where the boundaries of this camera are right now. And let's see, also I've got stuff from Facebook and from YouTube, so we're going to be trying to hit both of those. So yeah, that's why we're doing this here, and this is going to be all in one shot. I'm not breaking away, not taking any jump cuts or anything, because I just want to do this. Why not just do it? Just saying. So we're going to get started. And I know that 24 hours is not a lot of notice for this for you guys, so for those of you guys who took a chance to respond to me, thank you. I do appreciate that. We'll do another one where I'll give you guys a little bit more time. I also just mention this just for future reference. I did mention one question per person because I just didn't want like one person posting up 5,000 questions, which has happened before. Well, not 5,000, but I've had one guy do that. You know who you are. I'm looking at you. Yeah. So let's talk about this stuff. First of all, we've got Cape Sports here. Cape Sports 4, worst day of paintball ever, best day. Well, actually, that's why I have this picture up here right now. This is from probably one of the worst days. This was way back in the day. I used to do the FPS camera, right? And a lot of people said, well, whatever happened to FPS 15? Yeah, I killed that footage right away because it was a really crappy day. Give you an idea. This picture was taken before the game. Damn it! This picture was taken before the game began. The camera's mirrored on me, so I'm not used to it. But what they did is they started both teams like about 50 yards apart and just said, "Okay, 3, 2, 1, go!" And they thought it was going to cause all the action to happen right away because people are complaining that there's no action at these games. Wrong way to do it, guys. Wrong way. So yeah, blast camps, I haven't been back there since. That and what I found they did is they took all the people that we know, all the regulars, and all our attorney boys are going to be on this team, and then all the scrubs, all the walk-ons, all the renters, all the people we don't know, we're going to put them on the other team. Yeah. A little bit of home cooking. I'm just saying. So yeah, I mean, this is many years ago. So if you guys, if blast camp changed their ways, by all means, have fun. But I can't justify going down there anymore. Then again, it's another couple hours drive for me, so no point in it. I mean, there's been a couple other days too. I mean, last October I walked off a field because I had a tournament player threaten to kick my ass, and then actually start walking towards me to kick my ass, and the referee's opinion was like, whatever. And then there's an indoor field like 5 minutes that way that they actually, I walked off the field after 20 seconds because I was like, okay, they didn't check my tank. They never checked the hydro on the tank. They didn't check my chronograph speed. They didn't check my gun. They didn't check this. They didn't check that. And the referee on the field kind of looks more like he's a lost puppy than he looks like a referee. Yeah, this is gonna suck. No, screw this. I'm out. I mean, the guys who were playing, yeah, I knew most of them, but you know, if the referee's not going to enforce the rules, then why have a referee out there? Just saying. So yeah, those have been some of the worst days. The best day, just about every other day. And that sounds like a cop-out answer. It's not though, because in my mind, every day is a good day. I mean, if people are smiling, you're having a good time. What's the big deal? So that'll answer that. I mean, I've had days that have been like, yeah, this is awesome, but there's been a lot of them. You know, 20+ years. Second question, Outcast. What ideas do you have for the sport of paintball in a whole? Ooh, that's a lot of ground to cover. I think we can just kind of pare it down to one thing though. At least for now, I would like to see paintball actually have a standardized set of rules, and this will do a bunch of things. Not the least withstanding. There we go. Not the least being that if we have one standard rule set, then we're going to have to admit once and for all, yeah, speedball is one game, this is another game, this is another game, and just admit it, that we're using the same equipment to play different games. If we have a standardized rule set, then that makes things a lot easier. Okay, so third question. I should not do that with my screen, because that's going to mess things up royally. Here we go. Favorite and least favorite gun. Ah, okay. Least favorite. A lot of the early E-guns, they were really clunky. They just didn't feel right. It felt like that they were building, you know, they were building a gun to try to look cool, but they ended up not making it look cool. Although this is why I have this screen. Right now, my favorites I would have to say is this one, which is the A5, which I've been using for a lot of years now, and it's just so easy to use. So that's one of my favorites. The other favorite is it's the any one of the mags. I have the E-mags. I have one E-mag. I should get this in a moment, but I have a couple other guns as well. But I like the mags. And as far as pumps go, my Phantom is really good. Pretty much, again, it sounds like I'm copping out, but if I'm using the gun, assume it's my favorite. I don't play with junk. I don't have a sponsorship. I don't have anybody who's telling me, well, yeah, you know, I'll give you money if you use our gun. If I'm using it, then it means that it's good, it's going to last, and it's durable, and it's reliable. You know, I don't have the time, honestly, to tinker with something for hours and hours and hours to make it work. I just want to pick it up out of the box and say, let's go play. That's pretty much where I'm at right now as far as all that goes. Okay, next one, Stratocaster. Tiger, do you see the return of decent quality Tiger Stripe / Realtree camo in the near future, or is the population too enamored with throwaway paintball style digicam to warrant a change? Ah, okay. Actually, that's my Phantom. I knew I had a picture up there for that. That's my Phantom. But as far as the Tiger Stripe goes, I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the old school twill, the old school Tiger Stripe stuff, and I own quite a bit of it, and I'm very happy to own quite a bit of it. But what happened was a lot of people discovered jerseys, and this is actually the Spec Ops Digicam jerseys. Middle of summer, jerseys are incredible because you don't die of heat exhaustion. That was actually one of the big problems that I had with the Tiger Stripe. Excuse me, because the Tiger Stripe stuff it gets hot, and you sweat a hell of a lot more. And I remember one May game that felt like it was being played in the middle of July. It was just awful, and you're coming off the field, you feel like your clothes weighs about 25 more pounds than it should because it's all sweat-soaked. The jerseys, on the other hand, you don't really have that problem. So that's why a lot of people went to the jerseys. Now, as far as the Digicam goes, I think that's more of a trend. Because you've got CAD-PAT, you've got MARPAT, you've got the ACUs, which is thankfully being phased out. But a lot of these guys who are jumping out in the field now, they're like, digital camo is awesome. Let's go with the digital. Well, it works. I mean, I've used the digital camouflage to really good effect. A lot of it is just knowing how to utilize your camouflage. You know, what the limitations are going to be on your camo and how to use it most effectively. And you play digital a little bit different than you play Tiger Stripe. That's nuanced stuff, though. And it's basically, you have to understand the theory of why the camouflage works the way that it does in order to use it. In much the same way that if you're using Realtree or using Advantage or using any one of those, you play that differently than you play with Tiger Stripe. Because you have to. That's just the way that the camouflage is designed. And I'm going to mess with my desktop one more time. There we go. Now I can actually see what the hell I'm talking about. Yay! So, I mean, that's my theory on that. I don't really think it's throwaway camouflage, necessarily. Every camouflage is fairly decent. It has its strengths and weaknesses. You can play an OD green and be fine. And a lot of people do, and I used to do it a lot. It's just that the jerseys are going to be... I like wearing my old Tiger Stripe because when you're playing with a jersey, you're kind of afraid to go crashing through brush because you figure something's going to snag and it's just going to completely rip. Not exactly what I would call conducive to a good day. And yeah, I'm tinkering here, so sorry, you know, it's live. I'm doing this in one shot. Pump it up. In your most current videos, you always talk about the flaws of paintball, which is a good thing for a change. For a change, what is one good thing you can see lately in paintball? You guys are gonna laugh when I say this. MagFed. I'm digging MagFed. I don't own a MagFed gun yet, mainly because I can't justify it. I can't quite wrap my head around spending $200 to $500 for everything that I would need to go MagFed, because I already play stock class. But I'm digging it only because what it's doing is that it's bringing the magazine capacity down so that people are not going to shoot as much. You can have a gun that shoots 15 rounds a second, but if you've only got 10 rounds in the gun, damn the brakes. So I'm really liking the MagFed stuff. It's slowing people down, and that's one of the things that paintball has needed. It's needed this radical slowdown of firepower. So I'm liking the MagFed stuff. It's cool. I like it. It sounds contrived, but it's cool. Mouse over here. Next one. From Sunkissed Sniper. I really should read these things, the names, before I do this. What is the one marker you've always wanted but can never have? Actually, this is going to sound hokey, but the guns that I've wanted, I've managed to get. For example, this one. This is my old KP2. And I owned that for a long time, and I had to sell it when money got a little tight. But the old Woodstock brass barrel gun, awesome. I had a KP3 for a while. I had a Piranha. I still have my Piranha long barrel. It's not working right now because it's got an air leak. I had a Bushmaster because I always wanted one. A Bushmaster SI, the pump gun, not the. I mean, all the guns that I've ever wanted, I have managed to get my grubby little paws on, and a lot of them got sold off. But the core guns that I'm holding on to right now are the core. Those are the ones that's like, yes, I am not getting rid of these because these are awesome. So I mean, there's not really a current gun that I want, other than maybe a Tippmann, the Tipex, the TPX. Those look cool. But again, I don't play enough. I can't justify spending $500–600 for everything that I would need to go MagFed unless I played that often to make it work. And I already have an A5. So what do I need another Tippmann for? That sounds like an awful thing, but you buy a Tippmann once, it's done. You're finished. It works. Mountain Dew break. Next question. This one's much in the same vein. That was somebody deleted their question, so let's be fair. Spencer Deshone. Can you ditch the whole negative bashing videos? WebDog used to be my source for tips and tricks and helpful advice to improve my paintball game. There used to be cool music videos, product reviews, but now the show is just some guy in his garage bitching. Please get out of the garage and start teaching us again. Short answer. The long answer is that there are problems. And something I got very sick and tired of 10 some odd years ago was the industry. And when I say the industry, I roll my eyes because I'm talking about the upper echelon people. They just don't get that there are problems. Either they do get it, and they just don't care. And I just realized, no, I'm not going to feed the party line. I'm not just going to say everything is happy and happy-go-lucky, and as Dale Ford puts it, puppy dogs and rainbows. That's just not my thing. Not anymore. I'm tired of it. There are problems in this game. There are recurring problems in this game, and nobody wants to address them. Nobody wants to fix them. So I'm trying to put the spotlight on it, saying, guys, let's fix this. I can't do it alone. I know I can't do it alone. Anybody who tells you they can do it alone is delusional. I need help to do this, guys, and I need you guys to help me do this. It's really about that simple. So that's why a lot of the videos are negative. Now that being said, I have a project that I'm going to be doing. I'm waiting for the weather to get a little nicer. Obviously, you can see the window back there, but it's not open right now. I'm waiting for the weather, and once that gets better, there is going to be one project that is going to be specifically for new players. But I don't want to tip the hat too much on it because I don't want people, going, so when's it coming out? Come on, you promised this, because that's what you guys do. Excuse me, Mountain Dew, yay. So, be watching for that. But the other thing, too, is that I've already covered most of it. And that sounds like a cop-out. but it's not. I mean, back when I did the WebDog stuff 10 years ago, all those tactics still work. The game has not changed so radically that those tactics do not work. I made those to be timeless. And a lot of people look at those and go, oh, he's using an eMag, that's so dated. No, it's not. Those things still work. WebDog Archive, look that up on YouTube. It's a stagnant channel. It's just there. So that's what happened to all those videos. That's why they're all there. Go check those out if you want to. If not, that's okay. I don't care. It's all good. But that's why I don't do those videos anymore. I pretty much covered everything, and from there it just starts getting into nitpicking and minutia. I mean, if you guys really want videos explaining the theory of camouflage, I'll do it. But it's going to be boring as hell, because it's just going to be some dude talking about why camouflage works. And some of you guys might be fascinated to learn the differences between playing in Tiger Stripe and playing in Realtree, but most of you guys aren't going to care. Most of you guys are going to be like, oh, God, I know this. I've tried this. You guys have told me this. So I'm just going off of y'all. That's all there is to it. General Pickett, 55. Tiger, what do you think of MagFed paintball? Is it helping the sport or not? Well, as I already covered, yeah, I honestly think it is. I honestly think that MagFed is a really cool thing. Some of the people get a little overboard with it. That's why I've been poking fun at the Milsim guys about it, because it's funny to me. It's really funny to see the same kind of mentality diving into Milsim that I see people diving into tournament play. Oh, this is the best thing ever! It's a different style, guys. Get over it. But I'm digging it. I really am. I really think that MagFed could be something really cool. Just, you guys need to get your heads out of your asses. Oh yeah, language warning. But if you guys just understand, hey, you know, it's just a different style. It's just a different kind of thing. You know, jump in and start moshing. It's all good. Keep going to, but you know, definitely MagFed is good. I like it. It's finally grown up, and because I remember some of the old MagFed stuff where you had the top tube, so the positive, the spring that would push the balls in. Not really as cool as these. Those are awesome. All the MagFed guns are pretty awesome now. So yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with it. Go with it. It's cool. Let's see here. George Dury. Where is the line to be drawn on specialized paintball equipment? How far is too far? Grenades, pyrotechnic-based grenades, mines, launchers, first strike rounds? Maybe this. Maybe that's a little too far. Honestly, I think that anytime you start getting into specialty weapons, that's when you start going too far. I think tanks are too far, honestly. Every once in a while you go to a big game, they'll have helicopters. That's way too far. Rocket launchers, way too far. There was actually a guy back in 1990 in the UK. I want to say his name was Richard Cook. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody definitely will down in the comments. But he actually designed mines that were trigger mines. So he would take a tube of paint, tie it to a string, have that string attached to another mine, and the mine would actually launch paintballs out when somebody would pick up the bait piece. Sounds cool, right? Yeah. Anytime you start having explosives on the field, or any type of thing like that, things get a little bit wonky. I remember that there used to be a paint grenade, the M85? Sounds about right? The M85, it actually had a pull pin, it had a fuse, and it would explode. And it was blood red paint inside. That's way too far. As far as first strike rounds go, if somebody can actually show me beyond a shadow of a doubt, number one, they actually do what they say they do, and number two, that they are perfectly safe and do not leave any worse marks at point-blank range than normal paintballs. Because you cannot convince me that somebody's going to have a magazine of first strike rounds in their magazine-fed gun and then suddenly get surprised and then quickly change magazines so they have normal paintballs and shoot those. I just don't see that. But, you know, On one hand, I really think that paintball needs to have a standardization, but on the other hand, nobody wants to have, oh, I got my main gun. Nobody wants to have the gun, although I think that would be the best thing for the game. So we're stuck with what we've got. The market is that everybody wants their specialty equipment. So, you know, I cannot change the tide of the want and desire. Ben Flood, I haven't played in a few years, and I'm looking to start again mostly because my friends don't play. How should I get back into the swing of things after a hiatus? I still have my gear if that's relevant. Well, it really doesn't matter. Gear that I've been using since 1989 is still usable today, assuming that it hasn't fallen apart yet. I mean, just about everything in that picture I still own, except the tabby boots now that I look at it, and the goggles. I wouldn't trust the goggles anymore. But if it's only been a few years, the goggles should be fine. Just replace the lenses. Other than that, if you're just getting back into the swing of things, just show up. Play some walk-on. Don't try to jump into the tournament scene right away. I wouldn't think. It's like it's like riding a bicycle. Once you learn, you never quite lose it. Just take it slow, stretch. That sounds like an odd thing to say, but get ready to play. And also, the biggest thing is just have fun. A lot of people just tend to forget that when they come back. They're so focused on, oh, I gotta win, gotta do this. No, just, dude, have fun. Future Sire? I can't pronounce that name. What's the funniest thing that ever happened to you in paintball? Winning one-on-one tournaments like this. Seriously, back in Knoxville. It was a Knoxville Indoor, and they had a one-on-one competition. I won 4 out of 5 games in the rabbit suit. Yeah, it was actually kind of fun. The one game I lost, it was because the guy I was shooting at ran out of paint, and I kept on bouncing paint off of him. Fly good, Dave. He knows who he is. Chris O, are you into March Madness as much as I am? Go Cards. Well, March is kind of over, so I'm not really too terribly mad about it. I mean, it was just a month. Oh, you mean the basketball tournament? Nah, not really. Not my thing. College hoops. If you're into it, cool. Not my thing. Then again, I don't like basketball in general. Oh, controversial. Ooh. Yeah, right. Let's see. In a home. What would you think about kids playing paintball if their parents were there playing and both parent and kid knew how to play? Also, if the kid doesn't get mad or cry when they get hit and they were okay. I actually looked at this guy's page. He is a kid. So this is sort of a selfish-ish question. Not that I'm saying that I can blame him. It's all good. But there's still problems. There are still way too many problems. You can say all you want to that the parents are cool with it. You can say that all the way up to the point where the kid is being carried off the field because he got shot in the head 10 times, point-blank range, by the tourney kid who said, hey, he was asking for it. He should have known. You should have expected that. That's when it all changes. And before you say anything, yes, I have seen a kid being carried off the field. It was at a scenario game. The guy in the tank decided to lay into this kid for about 20 seconds, shot him in the head somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 times, and then when we brought it up to the tournament producer, we brought it up to the scenario producer said, well, tough titties. Kid knew what he was getting into. Parent knew what he was getting into. Not my problem. And then y'all ask why. There's a reason I'm jaded. But, you can say all you want to, oh, my parents are cool with it. Your parent can be there and say, yeah, I'm cool with it. But when your life is affected off the field, that's when things change. When you're being carried off the field, that's when things change. When a kid who says that he's tough and all that gets shot in the neck, like right here, and then breaks down and starts crying, that's when things change. I have seen parents in the middle of a firefight rip their goggles off to go help their kid. It changes. That's why I really don't think kids should be playing this game. I really don't. But you can't unring the bell at this point. You're going to have kids. I've seen waivers as young as 8 years old. You can get lit up by an e-gun. I'm not cool with that. But you can't undo that. So it's really just that simple. Actually, I had a picture with that too. I don't know if you can see it, but way back when, I think it was the buckets. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, the one time you get hit in a sensitive spot, the one time where you start to cry on the field, the one time where the pain gets to be too much and the kid breaks, that's when all the rules change. And that's when a parent who said that he was cool with it or she was cool with it, it absolutely changes. And there's nothing I can say about that other than that. That's where we have problems. Okay, Crazy Man 991. First of all, thanks for doing the videos. You're welcome, man. My question is, will Tippmann ever become a popular name in speedball scene? They have the crossover for a start, and I just filled out a survey that made me wonder. A part of me wants to say yes, I would love to see the crossover being taken seriously, but Tippmann. Anytime people bring up Tippmann, they always think Woods Ball. Just the way things are, unfortunately. I've played speedball with my A5, with my big, stocky A5. It's a perfectly fine gun. You know, people think that in order to play tournaments you need to have a screaming rate of firepower. You don't. We've proven that. We've won games as a pump team. Pump guns. You know, we played stock class in tournaments. There are teams out of Hawaii, teams out of California that play tournaments with stock class guns. They proved you don't need the firepower, but everybody thinks you need it. And Tippmann has the brand stigma that there's no firepower out of that thing. If they ever break that stigma, maybe. Or if they can somehow talk a tournament team into using their guns and winning with them, maybe. But I'm not going to hold my breath. There we go. Ryan S. I need new glasses. Ryan S. Hey, I'm getting into pump and saw old pump you did. You should extend off of that and do more. Not really a question. More of a recommendation. Well, let me kind of turn that around. Let me ask you guys, what do you want? What do you guys want out of that? I'll do it. I have no problem doing it. I just need to know what you want. Because a lot of the tactics that I've already covered on the archive stuff just carries over. So what more could be possibly needed to be done? Hamster Rick Productions. Production. I know it's done. What are your thoughts on the Second Amendment? Okay, Second Amendment, right over here. Well-regulated militia, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Pretty cut and dry. You know, if you want a gun, cool. You know, in America, you have the right to have a gun. Under most circumstances. I mean, there's some people who can't have guns, but whatever. It doesn't matter to me. You know, I'm not one of the, I'm not a gun collector. I'm not somebody who's, you know, stockpiling MREs in the basement. Not anything like that. But hey, you know, it's your right to carry one. Actually, I should mention this too. I live in a state, I should actually grab that off the wall. I live in a state where we have concealed carry. So in Wisconsin, in a lot of places, you can walk around with a gun hidden on your person. And a lot of places have signs up saying, no firearms allowed in the store. Well, you know, you're just... No, dude. This is kind of breaking off into a different argument entirely. But suffice it to say, for the short term, that most of the people who want to carry a gun into a supermarket or a restaurant or whatever, I always just wonder, what are they, you know, what's the fantasy in their head? Are they thinking that somebody's going to come into the restaurant and rob it and they're going to be the saviors, they're going to be the hero of the day? Whatever. I mean, if you want a gun, cool. As long as it's legal for you to have one, you can have one. But I really don't have an opinion on it, other than it's constitutional. There you go. WrestleManiac, are you going to lift your Jeep and put a CB in it? No. No. Unless somebody wants to pay me to do it. Mike Bauman, did you know that bees can smell fear? Ah! No, I've... Use trolling! Use trolling! Actually, I'm not worried about the bees. I'm worried about the guard dogs that can shoot bees out of their mouths. And laser tag guns full of bees. And bees full of bees. 66686 Blood Brother. I know you really don't like tournament players, but can you have any current tournament players, divisional or pro, that you like? No. I can't even name them. They are completely unimportant. If you guys read the Ford report, Dale Ford's thing, some guy went to his local field and asked a bunch of new players, hey, any of these pro tournament players mean anything to you? And none of them said anything. They were like, who? It's just kind of the way I feel. Most of these tournament guys are disposable. You know, the current crop of tournament players are going to get turned over in about 4 or 5 years anyway. And I still honestly feel that most of the so-called Woodsball teams, Woodsball scenario teams that these big companies are putting out, basically they're taking all their burned-out tourney guys and saying, well, you know, here, have the same gun you were using in your tournaments. We'll dirty you up a little bit, throw some camo over your shoulders, and go beat up some renters for us. And by the way, tell them that our gun is awesome. They're unimportant. Tournament play is basically unimportant. It used to be a good R&D department. Now it's basically like the, oh, this is the best, these are the best of the best. No. No, if you ever think that you're the best at something, actually the better way to put this, somebody once told me that if you think you're the best player in the room, you're in the wrong room. So, you know, the tournament guys, it doesn't matter. You're just this year's crop. 3 or 4 years from now, you're going to be out. I think it's very rare. It's only like a handful of players who actually have stuck around in the tournament scene for that long, and most of those guys are involved in some level of the industry, or they are a rule maker, or they are running the ref squads, or they are running the tournaments somehow. We burn them out that fast. Actually, more correctly, we steal their money that fast. How much longer do you see yourself playing paintball? Till it gets boring. And there come times where it does get boring. That's one of the reasons I don't like playing airball all day. Every game on the airball field is the same. You send 2 people this way, you send 2 people this way, one guy stays in the back, or if he wants to mix it up, he tries to make it to the 50 in the center. Boring. Seen it, done it before. Done it a million times before. That's how I feel. Pretty much that's how I feel. Dana's Zex. Do you have a wife or a girlfriend? Not an insult, just asking. None of your damn business. I've talked about this before. What I do on the camera is, you know, that's public. That's you guys. You guys, once I do something for the film, that's it. That's all you. But once this turns off, it's me. You know, I get my life back. And it's just fair. You know, I don't follow you guys around and ask you all the questions about your private lives. And I understand you're fans, you want to know everything, but no, you don't get to know everything. Just enjoy the fact that there's mystery in life. Maybe. Excelsior Raider Joshua, what is the one thing you did for a newbie or experienced player in need that made you go, this is why I play paintball? Maybe you fixed their marker or lent that person your marker. There's been quite a few. And most of the time it's helping out. We were doing a tournament, so we were doing Skyball actually, as the pump team, and we beat this bunch of kids, and they all showed up with Titmans, again with the Titmans. Titmans and, I remember, I forget what kind of jerseys they were wearing, if they were even wearing jerseys at all. But essentially, after that game, we said, okay, we see what, you know, as a team, we were like, okay, we see what you're doing wrong. Here, let us help you. We gave them some tips, we gave them some advice, and they just rocked for the rest of the tournament. And that was just like, yeah, that's the thing. It's all about, in my mind, it's about progression. It's helping somebody else, and it's also learning. You learn, if you ever stop learning, you just stop. There's a point to that. Yeah, there it is. I knew I had a picture for this. Also, there's a lot of times where you're just, you got all your friends, and it's just like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm surrounded by friendly people. Well, what more could I want? Let's see here, from Spyglass 002. Do you or one of your friends... I'm sorry. I missed one. I know I missed one. Okay, that's why I'm looking around. There it is, the truth. The truth. Do you play video games? Gosh, maybe. Yeah, I've been known to play a couple of games once or twice. You know, just a couple of video games. I mean, I just, yeah, there's a couple of video games that I play. You know, sometimes I play online video games, but I'm not really much of a video game player, really, honestly, I swear. And I never ever stream. Never ever live stream at all. Never ever live stream, ever. Drove that joke into the ground. Okay, next. This is a Spyglass. Do you or one of your friends still have the paint from the road trip videos? Actually, I do. I don't have it here, but I know where it is. It's in storage right now, along with a whole bunch of other things. It's probably, I'd be afraid to pick up the tube, honestly. But as far as I know, yes, I still have it. Yeah, a lot of stuff there. We've actually had a discussion once of how we could redo the road trip. Could it be redone? And the answer is maybe. Big maybe. We've lost a lot of the indoor fields in the area, but we figured out a way that we could tweak the rules. Or we could tweak our own rules and get a couple more fields in. So close, though. But I really don't want to drive that one again. If anybody else wants to pick it up and try it, please, by all means, go ahead. But woo, yeah. Ottawa Paintball. Do you own any electro markers? And if so, what kind? You seem a mechanical marker kind of guy. Actually, I do. Here's a picture of it. I have an EMAG. It is a mostly it's a mechanical gun, but the trigger is a complete electronics package in there. And it was flashed with somebody. It was Kendrick, actually. He gave me somebody's flash programming for it. So it's not stock necessarily, but it works. Does what it needs to do, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, I do own one electro gun. That's it. Dark Helmet. How often will you play paintball this summer, and do you think you'll ever burn out? Nobody speaks sign language. Okay, pretty much never. Never. No, actually, it comes close to burning out, but when it does, you just kind of take a step back and go, okay, whoa, why is this becoming a grind? And then just kind of fixing those problems. And as far as how often I'll play, when I can. Last summer I worked a lot of weekends, and when I wasn't working, I couldn't afford it. There's a reason I play stock class when I do. But, you know, I don't have a schedule over the summer, so it's just going to be when I can. Cornbread PB. Will you ever get into detail about the road trip from hell? I'm dying to hear the story. I've tried to do it a couple times on video. I can't do it justice. I can't. I have tried. Lewisman 125. What should be done with cheaters in paintball? Well, I thought about this, and honestly, you can't stop people from cheating. They're going to cheat anyway, and since there's no incentive for them to stop cheating, I instead came up with a different idea. What we should do is we should take people who cheat at paintball, And we should let them continue to play, except we're going to let them play with other cheaters. We're going to have an entire group of just cheaters. There'll be a referee out there just to make sure that nobody takes their goggles off and everybody has the barrel socks on or whatever. But, you know, as soon as the game begins, the referee's not even going to pay attention to the game. And you can cheat to your heart's content. You can wipe off paint. You can overshoot people. You know, it'll all be cool. And so we can have all the cheaters playing in one place. But then I thought about it, and I've realized, you know, I think we already have that. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, right. Like they're gonna care. Okay, Robot Ninja. Dude, does the hawk circle the sky at dawn? The pigeon is on the roof. Oh, yeah, I have a real question. How many times have you called out or shot your own teammate for cheating? Several times. I mean, the last year was yeah, it was last year. That was kind of the most recent. But you know, if somebody wanders out of bounds and then they kind of crud and walk back in, that's not really cheating in my book. It's when you wipe, cheat, and all that other stuff. That's when I start having problems with it. But yeah, I've done it several times, and usually it's, you know, you just say, "Dude, did you just wipe that hit?" And you give them a chance to kind of realize that they've been caught, so that it lets them save face. And it's when people start being jerks about it, then you start to have problems. Havoc Sean B. What type of games do you like to attend? Rec play, scenario, or tournament? I like rec games. Actually, I like walk-on games, honestly. Scenarios, I mean, they were cool at one point. Now people are taking them way too seriously, like to the point of they might as well be playing tournaments. And once again, when you get a whole bunch of old tourney guys playing scenario, basically to win and sell product, then there's no difference between them and tournament players. You know, tournament ball, scenario ball. If it ends up just being about product sales, then there's just no point to it. But give me a good walk-on day, give me a good rec day, and I'm happy. Actually, the Breakaway big game. That still has that nice big game feel to it. Still has that recreational game feel to it. So that's why I like to go to that one. Okay, FDL09 SN07. Now there's there's an acronym. I'd like to know what the rest of that stands for. Would you please do some more tip videos? Well, again, about what? If you guys, I've done a lot of them. I've done 100 tip videos over on WebDog Archive. So what haven't I covered? Let me know, and I'll do what I can. But honestly, I feel like I've done most everything that needs to be said. I mean, if you guys really want the minutia, we'll do it, but it'll be, you know, it'll be nitpicky. Really nitpicky. Have you ever played Airsoft? No, I haven't. No real interest in playing Airsoft. You know, if you want to play dress up, that's cool, but most of the Airsoft guys that I know get so hardcore into how they have to look that they forget that, you know, you're supposed to be having fun out here, guys. Well, it is fun dressing up. Yeah, okay. No comments after that. Mr. Spread, what do you do for a living, or what have you done for a living? Actually, in all seriousness, I've told you guys what I do for a living. You guys just don't believe me. I can't do any more than that. Cowboy 836. Do you see older veteran players leaving due to younger players with full auto and ramping? Well, kind of yes and kind of no. I see a lot of the old guys leaving because they have a real life. They have to pay bills. They have to pay car payments. They have to pay insurance. They have to buy gas. They have to feed their kids. They have to, you know, do the house payments and all that. And eventually what happens is something gives, and it's usually, well, you know, I can just sell all my paintball stuff and just go on. That's what they do. Real life. I also see a lot of the older players who they just get sick and tired of seeing all these snot-nosed kids running around with guns that they obviously couldn't afford to purchase, shooting paint that they obviously can't afford to purchase, and at that point it's like, well, what's the point of even playing? You know, I can't compete against their mommy's credit card. Credit card commandos, it's a real thing, guys. There we go. Polaris. Why... Oh, no, slight typo there. Why do you believe there's such a discrepancy between airsoft and paintball, or paintball and airsoft? I mean, seriously, I don't understand the rivalry. Well, a lot of it comes down to that, again, it's that younger kids. When younger kids get into something, it is the coolest thing ever. And everything else sucks. Everything else sucks. So if I'm into airsoft, then airsoft is the best game ever. If I'm into paintball, it's the best game ever. It's just a game, guys. It's just have fun. But you know, teenage kids, they polarize like this because that's what teenage kids do. No judgment. It's just what happens. The word "click" comes from somewhere. But I don't think that there really is, there should be any rivalry. Honestly, we're all in the same boat. You guys might remember the California Act from a couple years ago, when paintball and airsoft were both kind of in jeopardy there, and then paintball threw airsoft under the bus. But I don't see much of a discrepancy. I mean, I see this discrepancy. I don't see a reason for it, other than it's my way or the highway, which is pretty much how the attitude goes. Snarky show. How important is it to be an agitator in paintball? Paintball lacks picket lines and protests, most of who I see are puppets. Agitators. When I first saw that comment, this is actually what I thought of, but I understand what he's talking about. Paintball needs thorns in its side. If you have everybody just kind of blindly nodding their head and agreeing, then you have the same problem we had back in the 90s, in which everybody goes, yeah, that sounds great, that sounds awesome. And then every once in a while you'll have a voice of dissent saying, I'm not sure this is the best thing, but I'll go along with it anyway because everybody else is. That doesn't help, guys. Keep in mind that in the 90s, there was a huge movement to take paintball out of the woods and basically have it be nothing but airball. There's actually a rule at the first Skyball tournament. You could not wear camouflage. They specifically said in the rules you cannot wear camouflage because it'll break the image that we're trying to portray. No. You need to have people who just stir. People need to stir it up. People need to be that jerk. If not me, then who? Because nobody else is going to do it. Everybody else is still towing the party line at one point or another. Even the guys who think that they're the most rebels, even I'm guilty of this myself. But anybody who's selling stuff. Let's see, how did the line go from Princess Bride? Life is pain. Anybody who tells you otherwise is trying to sell you something. Same thing goes kind of for paintball, that it's not all happiness. And anybody that tells you that it is, check their bottom line. The Casper CT, if First Strike rounds are cheaper, would you approve and use them? First Strike. I honestly, it's not even an issue to me. Because every field in my area is field paint only, and nobody sells First Strike. If they do, they keep it on the down low. And I don't know. You see, if they would bring back the fins, the sniper ball fins, then we'd have something. And I didn't grab a picture of that because I didn't think of it until just now, this very second. But I don't see what the big deal is. You know, other than the biggest danger that I see with First Strike rounds is just going to make big games. If everybody uses them, then we're just going to have the big game problem exacerbated. What I mean by that is during big games, next time you go to a scenario game, next time you go to a big scenario game, check this out. Center objective, see how far away from each other the firefight is. See where people are in the firefight. And you'll notice that people try to stay at the maximum distance from each other, and they will just long ball the entire time. And then if one guy makes a charge forward, he just gets lit. He just gets a snot shot at him, lit up and all. But yeah, if you have First Strike rounds, then the range just gets that much further. And basically, you're just going to have teams that are going to sit there and just shoot at each other all day, and that's fun, I guess. But not so much fun. I'd rather actually move up. But, whatever. What old guns no longer, from Frosty Cakes, what old guns no longer in production would you be excited to see newly manufactured? KP2. The KP2. And actually, any one of the KPs, any of the Woodstock rifle. If any company, this is a challenge, if any company would make a woodstock rifle or a or at least a rifle that was non-realistic, as in, like, you know, Ultra M16, Ultra AK realism that's got that, just something that's going to be comfortable and something that's going to have a nice feel to it. I'd be all for that. Bring back the KPs! Bring back the KPs! That'd be awesome. Ninjas are us. When you first started paintball, what was your first impression of the sport? Right, like right after your first game. Okay, understand that during the first game I ever played, I was told that if you get within point blank, you have to ask for a surrender, and they have to. So I managed to get behind a player. I was literally standing on top of him. I told him to surrender. He spun and shot the crap out of me. At which point I just looked down, and my first thought about the game was, okay. All right. Oh, well, I got even. But, yeah, that was the first impression. And the last one from the YouTube page is from Filippo. What do you think of Empire attempting to resurrect the autococker with this new gun they have? Yeah, I've owned an autococker. They're not bad. If they manage to do it, cool. But I honestly, well, it'll be good mechanical. It'll be a really good mechanical for players. I could really see some of the rec guys getting into it. The biggest problem the autococker had was that it became this must-mod gun, where the joke was it came out of the box ready to modify. And way too many people were, yeah, that's sexy. Way too many people were tweaking the guns to within an inch of their lives, to the point that they became almost completely unusable. You don't put LP regs on a HP this, and it just, ugh. Some people just didn't get it. But for a lot of people, if you just used the gun for what it was great. So, I mean, if people want to buy it, cool. I don't have a problem with it. It'll be a solid little piece of machinery. Okay, so what do we got here? We got some other questions. These are from Facebook. And the first one's from David, who says, what are your thoughts on performance-enhancing drugs in paintball? I haven't been playing the game long enough to encounter it. Does this issue even exist? Have you encountered it? Do the leagues even have rules about it? As far as I know, no. There are no rules against it. Other than possibly being disruptive if you, if you're doing something illegal. Excuse me. Now, I do know, and I'm not going to give away anything because I don't want anybody doing this. I do know one team that they would use what was then legal over-the-counter drug that essentially became a performance-enhancing drug. It was a practice that is, I'm treading very lightly here. It is a practice that is not allowed in the Olympics. But he and his team would do it, and as he put it, it would make it so that their last game of the day felt like their first game of the day. And that's how he justified it. And so, I mean, it has happened. It has happened in the past. As far as, I don't think teams are going to be going the full-bore route of doing things like blood doping or doing anabolic steroids or doing anything like that, at least not in the near future. But as far as I know, there's no rule against it. They don't do drug tests in the NPPL. Like I said, they should be doing. They don't do those. Just saying. Oh, jeez, I can't. Forgive me for butchering the name. Hakon Limbrigston. Do you have any plans to take a trip down to CPX this year? Not this year, no. I will not be attending Living Legends 6 this year. I hope to be attending Living Legends 7. And if you really want to know why I'm not attending Living Legends 6, I'll tell you offline. Has nothing to do with Viper, has nothing to do with Sean, has nothing to do with Challenge Park. They're all fine people and all fine fields. I'm just not going to Living Legends 6 this year. That's about all there is to say about that. And let's see here, Robert Robert Charette here. Topic: do players of different styles that want a big game or scenario to be played a certain way contribute to field building and volunteering as much as they should? The trend seems to be complain but not contribute. It seems that volunteering, whether or not it's your type of event or field, may be the way to go. People should. People should volunteer. People should be referees. You know, go to be a big game referee at least once in your career so you understand what it's like. Be a scenario ref. Be a tournament ref once so you understand it. A lot of people don't want to do that. Now, should people, or do they do it? Some do. Some teams actually spend a lot of time and effort traveling to a distant location to go ref. And you know, if you have a local field, if you're sponsored by a local field, you guys should take a weekend, probably before the season begins if it hasn't already, and you know, go down there with some nails and some hammers and some blood, sweat, and grease or whatever, and just fix it up. Well, not a lot of teams do that. A lot of teams, they just want to show up and, you know, oh yeah, we're sponsored by this field. What do you mean you want us to do stuff for you? No, no, dude, we're already playing with your, you know, your name on our jersey. We're doing enough for you. No. 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 Put something back in, guys. Always put something back in. And last but not least, I know this has been a really long list, a really long video, so for all y'all, Jim Sheets. Hello, Jim from the KVM paintball team. My question is, most beginners and even some veteran players judge the success of their day on of paintball based on the number of kills they get. I don't agree with this. How do you judge the success of your day? This one's actually pretty easy to answer. I judge success by a couple of factors. First of all, did everybody walk away? Not as much as a problem as it used to be. But, you know, if nobody has to be helped off the field, that's a successful day in my book. But more importantly, is everybody smiling? Is everybody having a good time? And I'm not talking like, you know, one game you lost so you're kind of bummed. I'm talking like you're packing your gear. Is somebody packing their gear at the end of the day, you know, just like growling, snarling? Or are they packing their gear while joking and laughing with the people around them? Did you get to know the guys in the car next to you? Did you have a cookout at the field? Did you talk to people during the games? At one point, did you try something that beforehand you thought to yourself, this is fundamentally stupid, but wow, I'm going to have a good story at the end of the day? Did you have something that you know that you're going to be able to talk about like a week later with your friends? That's a measure of success. You know, I've reached the point now where winning and losing, getting body counts, that's nice. But did we all have fun? And I'm not just talking about myself, I'm talking everybody. Did we all have fun? If we did, then we win. That's really what it comes down to. And it sounds really hokey and sappy, but that's the way it is. So for everybody who took time to ask questions, thank you guys. And for those of you who sat through this video, I don't even know how long it is at this point, but thank you guys for hanging out with me. If you guys want another one of these things, we will do another Q&A down the road a little bit. I kind of like this format. I'm digging the format of doing it this way. If you like it, like, comment, subscribe, all that other fun stuff. We'll do another one of these, like I said, after spring break. And also, like I kind of hinted to earlier, be watching. Be watching over the for over spring. I'm waiting for the weather to get a little better. Once it does, we got some quality. So I will catch y'all next time. So good night, everybody. Bink.